In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you the part 1 steps for making a snowy day self-portrait collage. So you're going to begin by, this is really, really important, getting a Ziploc bag and writing your name and your class code on it, so whether it's 1R or 1RR, on the bag. And this is where we're going to be storing all of our collage pieces before we glue them down. So we're going to start out by making our face, and in the collage center I have a whole bunch of different colors of paper that are really nice for skin tones. I'm going to choose this one, and I'm going to begin by making a really, really, really big oval for my head. I'm going to fill as much of the paper as I can. Now if you mess up with this because you're doing it with pencil, you can just erase it and change it, but after you do that, you would then cut on the line, okay? Now, once you have it all cut out like this, you're going to store that in your Ziploc bag, and the great thing is you don't even have to put your name on that piece because it's already in the bag. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to get a full sheet of 9 by 12 inch paper, and we're going to hold it short and wide, not long and tall like this, short and wide, and we are going to draw a rainbow shape that goes from the top to the bottom and side to side. So if you look here, do you see how it goes all the way up to the top and side to side? And then I am going to cut that out. Okay? Now after I cut this out, I'm going to also store this in my bag. Now, if this is too big to store in my bag, we will fold it right down the center, okay? So let's see if we can fit it. Oh, it's a little big. So we're going to fold it right down the middle, and it won't matter if we have a crease in the middle because that will look like the part of the coat where your buttons would be. So that's just fine if you have a crease. So I'm going to put that aside now. And you don't have to use red. You can use any color that you choose. Now what we want to do is we want to pick something for our hat. So I'm going to get my head out of my bag just to kind of measure it. And I'm going to go through the scrap box and see what I can find as far as colors. So I have some red here from before. I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this, but this would be too big for a hat, and I also don't like the shape. So I'm going to measure this on here, put it kind of decide where I'd want my head to go, side to side here. That's about good. And then I'm going to draw the shape of my hat, and I'm going to even do like a little pom-pom on top. Now this can go back in my bag. And now I'm going to cut this part out. Now once I'm done cutting this part out, we're going to be doing some other things to sort of decorate the hat. So this is all cut out. But for this part, I'm going to keep it out so I can measure my decorations. So one thing that's really cool that we have in the Collage Center are all different edge scissors. So you can go in the scrap box and you can get some scissors, some different colors of paper, and you can do things like make stripes for your hat. Okay, so one cool technique is to kind of do something like that on the bottom. So then you would just come around the side, measure it, and cut that. Try not to cut backwards like I just did though. See how nicely that measures on there? You could even, if you wanted to add another row of stripes, you could do that. So you would you could even measure that underneath here. Draw there and there. Plain scissors and cut the side. Like that. Okay. So I'm going to put this aside for now. You could also cut out polka dots. You could cut out, little hearts or something, anything that you want. Just draw it first and then cut it. So now I have my hat, my head, and my shoulders. Now I want to make myself a scarf. So I kind of want my scarf to look like it was knitted. So this texture that I used before kind of has a nice little rough edge to it, which will make it look like my scarf has some texture. So I'm going to do that part right along here. Then I'm going to get plain scissors and I'm going to cut like this some fringe at the end of the scarf. Okay, so this is going to be my scarf for later. Then if there's any other little things that you'd like to cut out, like let's say you would like to cut out buttons or something for your coat, you can, and you need multiples, you can fold a piece of paper in half a few times, draw a shape, and then cut through it. You could do this with all kinds of shapes, triangles, rectangles. Okay, so these could be like your buttons on your coat. So all of these things will be stored in your bag. And then once you have done your head, your hat, your coat, and your scarf, then you can watch the part 2